Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Talking to Taffe. I do want to remind you guys that I know you guys see me move on the iPad and using the iPad and all that stuff. That's really because I'm using it to answer any questions or see what you guys are saying, anything like that. So you guys, please like, share, comment. Today we're going to be talking about how you doing, Zaya. It's good to see you. So that's what's happening as far as like if you see me looking down, looking at this iPad, checking my phone, anything like that. So today on Talking to Tab, we're going to be talking about the yoke of yourself. Now, this is a very powerful thing because the yoke, right? If we know what a yoke is, right? For us believers in Christ, you know that the Lord tells us, right? He's like, oh, so my yoke is light, right? And I feel like it's very specific to say that your yoke is light, right? Because a yoke is a physical. I have it right here. It's a physical object used to use cattle to get the work done, right? So it's a physical object to be able to that is placed on something that you can get a purpose out of that, right? So that's what the yoke does, right? But today we're talking about a different version of yoke. You see, God's yoke is light, but the yoke of yourself can be heavy, turning the yoke, right, which was meant to help get something out of you, right? Which was meant to get something out of you, it turns it into what we would call a shackle. So the yoke of yourself is actually really a shackle. It's so heavy because God's version is light. Our versions are heavier. So that they go from a tool used to gain something, right, to becoming now a physical bondage. You know what I mean? A physical form of bondage of basically a handcuff. How you doing, bro? It's good to see you. Thank you. Please like, share, comment so that this gets out to anybody who may need it. Okay. Appreciate you. Make sure I'm not all up in y'all face. Thank you, bro. That's my producer guy right there, King Ja. What up? Yeah. So again, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about, right? So the yoke is what we would call, in this context, oppression, right? So today's self-oppression is what we're talking about. The yoke of yourself, the oppression of yourself, right? The oppression of yourself, right? Today is not going to be a long thing. Also, I do want to say happy holidays to everybody. You know what I mean? Guys, you guys, it is that time of year, so bring cheer and show your light. So yeah, today so self-oppression, right? That is the act of denying yourself freedom. Now, it takes a lot to be able to say to yourself that you're the reason that you don't feel good. You're the reason that you don't take any chances. You're the reason. How you doing, Miss Linda? Nice to see you. Thank you guys for joining. You're the reason that you have not accomplished what it is that you want to accomplish or desire on the inside to accomplish. So that's what it is. That's what we're going to talk about today, the yoke of yourself, which is going to turn into what we're calling self-oppression. And that is, again, to reiterate, it is the act of denying yourself freedom. Okay? Hope everybody, if you don't, you know what I'm saying, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Like, share, comment. Get this out to people who need it. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a few things that are what we would consider. Before I do it, you know what? In the chat, give me one form of self-oppression. Go ahead. I'm going to give you guys a second real quick. In the chat, let me know one form of self-oppression. What is it that we do that stops us from doing or being what we need to be? Just one. All I need is one, right? Heaven rejoices over one. Doubt. That's on the paper. Thank you, Miss Francine. Doubt. That is one of the things that is it because it seems to say like, how is that my fault that I doubt? Just like that in that sentence, I do it. It's not something that controls me. It's something that I allow to have weight in my life. So when I doubt, guilt, negative thoughts, all of these things are perfect examples to what it is When we pay attention to those things and we give those things bearings in our lives, they become shackles, stopping us from going forward, which then basically you're denying yourself because none of these things have power over you. That's the truth. The truth is that none of these things actually can really weigh in on your decision. You get what I'm saying? You choose to allow them, but you in all at the end ultimately have the choice. So that's why these things right here, that's why we're gonna target them. We're gonna talk about them really quickly, and then I'm gonna give you guys a challenge at the end of this. So yes, I'm glad that you guys are very self-aware, and you know that these are the things that you know that stop you. They make you. They're really, like we said earlier, they're really chains. They're really shackles. They're really a weight, like a ball and chain. Okay, so like you said, doubt. I got a few more here. Perfectionism. Why is perfectionism a yoke of yourself? Why is that a self oppression? Perfectionism is self oppression because once you're always trying to get something done, right? And soon as you don't get it to that level, right? When it's not done to that extent of what you consider to be the all end, right? The best, then you now beat yourself up. And now you're stuck looking at this thing, or maybe you won't move forward until you have accomplished it in such a manner that is completed in what you believe to be the only way to do something, which is not correct. You know, we're all gonna do things and we're not gonna be perfect at everything. Because if you continue to let perfection be a yoke in you, be a yoke over your life, you're just gonna end up being sad. You're just gonna end up being unhappy with your life. You're going to continue to feel unfulfilled. That's what perfectionism does. And so, yeah, it sounds great to be like, yeah, I'm trying to do everything the best I can to the best of my ability and get it done right in the only way that it can be done. No, you're not going to get everything right, and you got to be okay with that. That's how we're able to keep moving forward, be not conformed to the issue. I cannot be perfect. We're not going to be perfect. None of us on this earth are going to be perfect. So you're trying to fit into this bubble that does not actually exist, right? And so then you're feeling unfulfilled because there's this area that you cannot complete in. That's how it's going to be. So don't let that be a yoke. Accept yourself, accept your abilities, and continue to move forward so that doesn't hold you down. Condemnation. That's another form of self-oppression. Because there's nobody else really condemning you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and if you do believe in the enemy, yeah, he does talk trash, but it's your choice to listen to him. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're more about our worst critics, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you deal with perfectionism, then you automatically deal with condemnation. So you got to see that. And so you got to tell yourself, no, that's not true. You have to be able to address yourself. That's the crazy part, is that you have to be able to actually address yourself and say, hey, don't choose that option. You are valid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you messed up. So what? You can get up and do it again and do better next time. That's how we have to think. Because when I let condemnation come in and now it becomes this thing that I'm beating myself down, I'm just like tearing myself down and not being good to myself, then I'm unable to walk forward because I'm stuck at this place that now I've just decided to live. Because in the all in, I'm going to reiterate again, it is your choice. It is your choice to choose to let these things. That's why it's self-oppression. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else has no real control over you except for you. We heard in Bible study that our mind controls everything. So if your mind controls everything, then you need to know that the power of your mind is what keeps you from, you know what I'm saying? Whether if you're going, it's because your mind is strong. But if you're not going, it's because your mind is weak. So you need to build that up. Appreciate you. And then we have doubt and fear. Now, how does doubt and fear oppress you? How does that impress you? Somebody give me a way that doubt and fear might oppress you. I'll give you guys a second. And this is one of those really things, the really big things as far as like, I've known to even find these things, especially if you're somebody who believes that you are meant for greatness and stuff like that. This is one of those things where if you let it really have a reign in your life, I'm trying to find. Oh, I just realized that on my Instagram, you guys can't actually see me. How do I find my? It causes you to limit yourself. Mm-hmm. I definitely believe that. That is a fear of your own power. So what it literally stops you from being able to do what you know you can do, what you know, because like my brother just said, it the fear of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you're afraid of what you're capable of, which then means you're not going to do it, right? Because you don't feel like you can do. You feel like you can, but you might not be able to, or you might just succeed, and that might actually cause you to have to do more. You know what I mean? And then we have you limit yourself because fear says that I cannot be this way. I cannot reach that level. You know what I'm saying? You're not good enough. That's doubt. Doubt is saying you're not good enough to be that person. You're not good enough to reach that level. That thought of yourself is way too high. So then it causes us, you know what I'm saying? Fear of rejection. It causes us to feel like, okay, if I do this, right? Doubt, fear. If I do this, they start telling you, well, they ain't going to pay you no mind. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to trust in you. They're not going to, yeah, exactly. Same thing with that rejection receipt. You're not going to feel like, oh, you're not going to be taken in, right? And so then you don't do the thing that you're talking about, right? Because of the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of power, all these things, the limits that you put on yourself, right? These are the limits that you're putting on yourself because it's up to you, again, to accept the doubt and accept the fear. You can tread over that. You can bum rush right through it, right? If you believed in yourself, right? And so that's why you gotta release that yoke because it gets so heavy. Oh, every single time I try to do something, I'm worried about what somebody else may perceive me as. That's not the goal of life. You gotta get delivered from that. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You got to work hard. You got to change your mind, and then you got to make that a part of you. Yeah. So that's an everyday thing, guys. The I can'ts, the I don't deserves, right? Those are big things in our lives. And when we say, if you even listen to those statements, you're saying to yourself, you can't, you don't deserve. So obviously, right, out of the mouth, not out of the mouth, not that scripture, right? There's power of life and death in the tongue. So there's power of life and death in the tongue. And I speak over myself, saying, I'm trying to figure out how to get on it. I'm sorry for everybody on Facebook. I'm trying to get right on you on Instagram. But yeah. And so when you're saying to yourself and you're speaking these things, literally into your life, you're saying, oh, I want a harder life. I'm never going to be able to, so I might as well not try, and that's what you got to get to the point where you're not being self-oppressive, but you're being liberation. How do you even say that word? All right. Everybody knows liberating, self-liberating. Okay. So you're giving yourself the freedom to do, you know what I'm saying? You're saying to yourself, I can, I do deserve. You know what I'm saying? You got to change your language, and that changes your mind. Yep. And then that's what exactly goes right back to being the perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? If I don't think I can do it perfectly. I remember back in the day, I was the person, I would not take on a project if I didn't believe that I was capable of doing it, because I didn't want to mess up. What? And then think about how many things I may have missed out on because of the sheer fact that perfectionism and doubt and fear told me that I was unable to do it. And if I did try to do it, I probably wouldn't do it right. So then I would condemn myself in the end. So I was just trying to save myself heartache. But if I was delivered from all those things and I got myself into a place where I was like, I can, I do, and I will, right? I must, then I would maybe have gained a greater sense of self earlier in my life. So, right. And then you find yourself not taking chances. You got to be willing to take chances in this life. I think Steve Harvey said it. He said, you're never going to find success in being comfortable. You find success in being uncomfortable. And so you have to be able to get out of yourself and say, I can, and I will, even though it doesn't look like I can. Even though the situation in front of me, you know what I'm saying, makes me feel like I don't and I can't. You still have to be able to say, all right, I'm going to try. and you never know. You might fail that first time, but if you get over the condemnation and you try again, you might pass the second time, or you might just find that this is not something that you even want to do. You're not interested in. That's why some people don't do things because they're not interested. That's it works in different ways. So you don't deny yourself a dream. Everybody, what I'm saying, in today's society is all about making money. And so if I'm not making money, if my dream doesn't make me money, my dream is not worth anything. And we talked about that in purpose. That's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? You are created and put on this earth for a reason. You know what I mean? So if I'm created and put on the earth for a reason, then I have to allow myself the ability and the luxury, because it is an amazing thing to have a dream, instead of just making money. It's all about making money, and that destroys dreams today. It's like I'll be unhappy as long as I can make $10,000 a month. No, money is not enough for true, like, to be here. You're only here for a certain amount of time. You want to enjoy it. You don't want to just have stuff, so you got to be able to allow yourself to have a dream. Another thing I want to do is, if you do have a dream, put it in the chat. Make it real to yourself. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. That just came to my mind. So I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. It's good to see you on here. How you doing? Yeah, if you have a dream, if you believe that there's something that you want to do in this world, I dare you right now to put it in the chat. To give yourself the liberty to say, this is what I want. Thank you. This is what I want. This is who I am. And no matter what fear, what doubt, or what you perceive a person might see in this very moment, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who sees you put that thing, don't even worry about that, because that has nothing to do with your inner self. You could, as long as you're happy to say, I want to become a martial arts master. You know what I'm saying? That right there speaks life to yourself. That's liberating to yourself. Don't worry about anything on the outside. No longer will you let the external things affect the internal things. You know what I'm saying? It's not what goes in, but what comes out. So you gotta let it be that those things that come in don't change what comes out. You get it? Thank you. Please share. Get this out to people who may need it. Okay, and so then I'm gonna this one right here is gonna, this one, not a lot of people might like this. The victim mentality. That is a form of self-oppression, to always want to be the victim. It's woe is me, because they did this. This is all I have. I come from a house of poverty. I've been poor. You know what I'm saying? I understand what it means to have the circumstances around you tell you that you're not good enough and you'll never have. But I overcame that by not letting it become me, by not blaming people for what's going on in my right now. I could be mad that my dad wasn't around. I could be mad that my mom wasn't around. But no, I choose to say that even though they weren't around, I'm still loved. And so because I'm still loved, I can still do anything that a person who had both parents in the household, you know what I mean? I can still do what they could do, because I believe in myself, because I didn't let what circumstance, you know what I'm saying, become me. I didn't start saying, oh, I can't because. Again, we come back to what we say out of our mouth. These are the things that change how we live. Yup. Motivational speaker, you want to change lives, you have the ability to do that out of the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Life and death out of that. Speak life. If you have the ability to do it, then do it. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about as far as self-oppression is passivity. Being passive because you don't want conflict or because conflict sometimes produces something much better than if you just ignored the situation. You might find some sort of a solution, or something productive may come from the conflict. Like we were talking about earlier, that how Steve Harvey would talk about, being uncomfortable gets you into the places, what I'm saying, of success. So being passive is not okay. Yeah, it seems good. It seems like, oh yeah, I know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna get in that. I'm not gonna, it's all right. Don't worry about it. That didn't bother me. Don't even, and now you're slowly but surely just, cruising through life, not worried about nothing, not excelling in anything. You're just here. That's a form of oppression. Yeah, you might not feel like, you've regressed or anything like that. And you maybe you're still moving, but you're not going where you want to go. You're not saying what you really feel. You're not expressing who you really are, because some people, and I know this for men is a thing. When I want to express myself, I feel like if I express myself, there's going to be some form of conflict when I say this. If I say this out of my mouth, somebody's going to reject it, because I'm a man. I'm supposed to be strong. I'm not supposed to be emotional, and I'm supposed to respect everybody else. I'm supposed to. But what if, what I'm saying, it's something emotional, and maybe it's going to burn somebody. Somebody's not going to like it. I cannot be so passive that I'm unable to say, hey, to you, you hurt me. I don't like what you did, and I'm done with it. Nah, because now I have, what I'm saying, I'm a bad man. What they call it, I think they call it male toxicity nowadays. It's this thing where we're projecting ourselves upon people. No, we have feelings too. And for me, like even now saying that, I'm liberated by saying, yes, men have feelings. And so we are allowed to express them, right? I could have said, okay, people are not going to like what I just said. And oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, now I can't say it. And so then I'm feeling left after this. I get off of this and I'm going on. I really wish I would have said that, because it would probably help somebody, and it probably would have helped myself too. But now I'm oppressed because now I can't explain it because of this and this and this, because of all these internal thoughts that I thought. You know what I mean? You got to be able to overcome those things. Exactly. Thank you, Miss Linda. That woman right there, she a counselor. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Eric? Nice to see you, bro. That's my cousin. Oh shoot, my family's is on here. How y'all doing? I'm sorry, I got distracted. Okay, and so that's the yoke of yourself. And so these are things that we're talking about as far as like, I'm just helping you identify them right now. This is a walk. And it's something like, if you think about like, if you ever heard of the law of attraction and stuff like that, if you understand these things, you know that you can say a thing, but until it becomes you, it doesn't matter. So now we're addressing this thing, and we're showing you there's perfectionism, condemnation, doubt, fear, what I'm saying, the passivity, mental victim mentalities, and denying yourself love and dreams. All of these things, right? We just address them as being self-oppressive things that we allow to oppress us, right? And not give us our freedom, right? But you're not going to get freedom just by hearing that these are the things. You're going to get freedom by acting on this, by saying. So my challenge on today and for the rest of the week, until we see you guys next week, I'm probably going to ask about it. Who has, is that to self-reflect and to go against the grain. What I mean by going against the grain, I'm not talking about being disobedient or rebellious in areas of work or wherever you go, right? What I'm saying is by going against the grain of what you feel internally. You know what I'm saying? If it is one of these things, if it is something that does oppress you, whenever you feel it, you say to that thing, you know what, I'm going to do the opposite. And now I'm going to go do that, because you know what, I do and I can. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's thing. I know it's going to be the holidays, so I'm not 100% sure how the next week. Most likely we will be doing next week, but Christmas week I won't be doing a talking to Tap episode. But if you guys can, please comment in the comments things that you guys would like to hear about, would like to learn more about, things that you feel isn't spoken up about enough. You know what I'm saying? Because this is Talking to Taffe. I do want to have another guest on the show. So that's something I am working on. Let's get that going, guys. Pray for me so I can get somebody up here that wants to help and strengthen the community. All right. That's Talking to Taffe. I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining. Please like, share, and comment.